Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So it has actually been quite a while since I've taken the car out, driven it, had some fun. It is absolutely beautiful out today. It is in the 70s, so it was about time to get this car out and enjoy it. So that is what I am doing. So what I want to do in this video is actually kind of update you guys on a little bit of things coming in for the car, as well as something else that I want to touch on, go over as to why and what we're going to do about it. So we recently just did the OEM extinguisher on the passenger Recaro. Absolutely love how that turned out. Looks beautiful. I love having it there just in case. We also did the Renline track mats, which I love. A lot of people were asking me if they were slippery when you are driving. No, they're not. It's not like carpet where your floor or your foot sticks to the actual carpet. But what I've been finding is that my feet are able to shuffle back and forth between the brake, throttle, and the clutch much easier. Whereas the carpet, I would almost feel like my heel would stick to the carpet. So really enjoying them. I like the way they look. And yes, unfortunately, they do not make them for the F82 M4. Only the F30s and the F80s. I'm not sure why. I feel like a lot of F82 guys would enjoy those, since I know a lot of F82 M4 owners track their cars and would love a set of those as well. Really enjoying them. Love what it did for the interior. It cleaned it up quite a bit. And I really recommend them if you do have an F80 or an F30. They also have them for previous generations as well. They have them for Porsches. They got a lot of different models, a lot of different mats for different cars. So definitely recommend picking them up if you're interested in them. I really think they are a worthy investment. So the last few videos we've been installing some really nice interior pieces. We did the MF interior dash trim, we did the Redline floor mounts, the OEM extinguisher, we did a bunch of stuff in here. But Marco and I from MF Interior actually discussed a few things that we want to get done in here to kind of build off the theme that I got going, which is the Alcantara theme, which I love. We're actually going to be doing the steering column, A pillar, B pillar, the whole thing, as well as this part right here, as well as the C pillar, and we're going to see what else we come up with as well, but we're going to have those coming in. Those should actually be in middle of April, middle of next month. So once those come in, we'll install those. I'll show you how to get that done, and I think it's going to really clean it up and look really nice. So I wanted to update you guys on the GTS hood. Now, you guys may have thought I was done with it, it's perfect, it's good, and to be honest, it pretty much is, but very hard to tell. But after having the car out in the daylight and kind of experiencing outside the shop and everything in different light settings, we realized that the paint match is so close, but it's not perfect. Hard to tell when it's in direct sunlight, but you may be able to tell. You can kind of tell in the shadows. So you may be able to tell right here where the hood is a little bit darker than the fenders, which honestly doesn't look bad. So in the direct sunlight, it looks perfect. The metallic is perfect. Everything about it is really perfect, but the hue is off ever so slightly. And the reason why is because, as I mentioned, I got the paint match done from the gas cap cover, which is made of plastic. We knew the risk of going with something like that, obviously not having the car in person, getting it actually paint matched and everything. So the hard part about this specific hood is the hood is carbon, the fender is metal, and the bumper is plastic. So it's 3 different types of materials to be able to match it perfectly. So I was talking with Auto Couture, with Matt and everybody over at Panis, and we obviously all agreed that the paint match was off ever so slightly, and we wanted to get it redone. Not the end of the world, it happens, but we want to make sure it's perfect just because of who I am, just because of who Auto Couture is, as well as Panis. Everybody wants perfection, and we're going to get it done properly and get it done perfect. So what we actually decided to do, Auto Couture actually still has my OEM hood. So Panis actually took my OEM hood, brought it over to their shop, and they actually ordered up some carbon fiber panels to be able to do some spray samples and kind of go over a few different options to see what works best. Obviously, having the car there is the best option, which we're end up going to be doing once we get the car there, but they wanted to do a few samples on some pieces of carbon to try to get it perfect before we have the car there, because we would rather do all the R&D first before having the car there and letting it sit and everything. So we will be getting the hood resprayed to get it 100% perfect. Again, it's really hard to notice here in the direct sunlight. It does look really good, to be honest. It's very hard to tell, but in overcast or in certain lightings or in shade and everything, you can definitely tell the hue, and we want it to be perfect. So we're going to be getting that done again very soon, and we'll have the car up there and we'll get it knocked out. I obviously need to get the hood PPF'd as well after we get it redone, so it's ready to go and we can enjoy it finally. So now you got a little bit of an update of some interior parts coming. We're getting the hood re-sprayed out, make sure it's perfect. We actually are going to head back to the garage to install the new exhaust tips. I have been running the ones back here, which are Horizon Motorsports, the carbon fiber with the gloss black exhaust tips. They're really, really nice. I really enjoyed them, but I wanted to change it up and clean it up a little bit. So the carbon on here is nice, but I almost feel it's a little too busy with all the carbon in the diffuser and all that. So I wanted to go with something a little bit simpler. Also a little bit larger as well, because I feel like this back end of the F80 is pretty large and they need a decent size exhaust tip to really kind of fill out that space. And also I missed running Ink Customs exhaust tips. When I first got this exhaust, I had some gloss black tips by Ink Customs, ran them on this exhaust for a little while. The finish didn't fare too well, so we ended up getting rid of them and got these. These have been doing really, really well, but I wanted to go back to the Ink Customs to kind of display his work, have his logo on the exhaust so everybody knows exactly what exhaust I'm running, and plus I can customize it and get it exactly the way that I want it. We went with a little bit different option in terms of the finish. It's going to hold up much better. Well, it's going to hold up perfectly. We know it's going to, since of the coating that we actually used was Cerakote. It's actually made for exhaust and high heat and everything, so it's going to hold up very, very well and look really, really good. And also, as I mentioned, they're a little bit larger, so it's going to fill out that space a little bit better. So really simple install. We're gonna head back to the garage, get those installed. I actually already have somebody that purchased these exhaust tips, so don't ask, they have been sold actually for a little while. When I first mentioned that I was going to get some new exhaust tips, somebody reached out, was like, hey, I want those, and we got the deal done. So let's head back to the garage, get those knocked out, show you the differences, and show you what it looks like. But for now, I'm gonna go out, enjoy the car. It's beautiful out. And it's really, really rare that I get time to enjoy the car these days, just because of my schedule. My free time has been very limited lately, and anytime that I do get the car out, it's always a joy, and it reminds me just how amazing this car actually is. So I'm gonna go enjoy the car a little bit more, and then we'll head back to the garage, get the exhaust tips put on, and we'll go from there. So I'll catch back up with you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, back in the garage. It's actually quite a few days later. I actually had to wait for the new exhaust tips to come in. It got delayed by UPS, but they finally came in and they are awesome. So here they are. These are custom tips to my exact specifications. I wanted the tips a little bit bigger. So let's go over the exhaust tips, go over all the specifications that I wanted. Now, I wanted a little bit larger size than the current ones from Horizon Motorsports. Those are 93 millimeter. And I wanted something a little bit bigger to fill out that space, as I discussed earlier. So we went for a little bit larger overall diameter, but nothing too crazy. Going to like 100 millimeter, I think, is just too big for this car. So we'll do a quick measurement. Obviously, we'll take these off and we'll compare them side to side. It's not going to be a massive difference, but they are a little bit larger. And also, these are single walled as opposed to these, which are double walled. And then they got the actual carbon surround there. So it kind of makes them look even smaller than they actually are. And going to a single wall, which in my opinion is my favorite kind of exhaust tip. It's nice and simple. It's overall going to look much bigger, even though it may not be a huge difference in terms of size. But the color that I wanted a nice flat black. I was done with gloss. I wanted a really simple black, but I wanted something that was going to really hold up to the heat. So we actually got these Cerakoted. So if you guys are familiar with the brand Cerakote, they actually do ceramic coatings for exhaust parts. You can do pretty much anything with it, but we went for an actual ceramic Cerakote on here to hold up to the heat. So I forget the crazy temperature that these can hold up to, but the reason why is because obviously exhaust parts, exhaust tips get really hot when you're driving hard, and I don't want the finish to flake off and look terrible. So we went with an actual real ceramic coating Cerakote. Turned out amazing, and I love the flat finish. Also, as I mentioned, I wanted to continue to display Patrick's work in customs on my specific car, because as you guys know, I'm running his exhaust, and right now I don't have anything indicating that it's in customs. So I wanted to get his logo back on here. So we decided to laser etch the Inked Customs logo in. Nothing crazy, nothing too large, and it turned out really awesome. The cool part about the logo here, since it's laser cut and etched out of the Cerakote, the silver, the actual metal, is going to turn a golden, maybe a little bit of a blue hue over time as they heat cycle. So that's going to be a nice little thing. Also, I wanted to go back to the angled cut, the slash cut, whatever you want to call it. Straight cut, as these are, do look nice, but factory exhaust, they have this slant. So as you can tell, the diffuser goes on a slant, so the exhaust tips are going to follow the diffuser much better, and they're not going to stick out and look aftermarket. So going back to the slant cut, I think works really, really well with the F80, F82s. So we decided to go back to that style. Also, I noticed Patrick is using a much better quality clamp. We'll compare the other ones that are on the car currently, but these are way nicer than the ones that he has supplied in the past. So these look like they're going to hold up over time, and they can take the torque to be able to hold onto the exhaust properly. Now, the clamps that are on there currently are pretty much the universal exhaust clamp. These are a little bit nicer in my opinion in terms of the hardware used. So these should hold up better over time. So let's go ahead, let's start removing the carbon ones there. I actually got to ship those out to the new owner since they purchased them. So these are 14 millimeter, pretty easy to remove. So you just get the clamp loose, make sure it's not stuck on there. We're good. Now we can slowly kind of wiggle off the exhaust tip. Get a better angle here. There we go. One off. This car's pretty dirty. I've been driving it as much as I can on the warmer days. We gotta do a wash and talk soon. But it's definitely getting driven when I get the chance. Weather has been all over the place lately. It's been either pouring rain, cold, and then we'll get like an 80-degree day randomly and then go back to cold. Hopefully the warmer weather comes back around and stays for longer than a day. All right, we got that off. No way. The last one. All right, so the carbon tips are off, look really good, held up really well. The gloss black is still nice and glossy, but here's what I'm talking about. Look at the overall size difference just because it's single wall over the double walled and the outer little coating, carbon cover, whatever you want to call it. So although these are very similar in size, we'll do a measurement next. Just look how much bigger the tip looks because it's single walled and doesn't have all the extra double walled interior and the little cover over that. So that is what I'm talking about. Even though they're very similar in size, the new Ink Custom tips just look so much bigger, in my opinion, so much nicer. All right, so I don't want to get too technical here, but we're just going to use a tape measure here. So the actual tip size without the cover, we're looking at what, 3 1/8, 3 1/16 or so. And the actual tip on here is a full, careful, full 3.5 inches, as you can see there. So with the carbon cover on, it's roughly around the same, but because these are just single walled, it looks much bigger overall, even though it's pretty much the same size in terms of the diameter of the entire unit as opposed to just the actual tip here. So there's a little side by side. As you can tell, the ink looks way bigger, at least it does to me in person. Then the carbon ones, not too big, just the right size, but these things look very, very nice. So let's go ahead and install them. Same exact process. These are, let's see, these look to be about a 13 millimeter. Yep, these are indeed a 13 millimeter. So let's go ahead and throw them on, align them, see how it looks. Now for somebody like me that's very OCD about having everything looking right, it always takes me a few days to get these aligned where I want it and sitting looking right. So I'm probably gonna be playing with them a lot. Take another one, kind of finagle it on. There we go. All right, so that's probably where I want them. I'm gonna throw the other side on and kind of get everything lined up, but that's kind of where I want them. I like them nice and even with the diffuser. I don't like them sticking out too far. And as you can kind of see, this is following the angle of the diffuser. But I mean, you can position them as far out or as far in as you want, but I like to be able to see the logo when I look down just a little bit, but not so much where it's sticking out too far. So that's probably good about there. It's about 1/4 of an inch difference between the inside one and outside one, kind of staggered, so it's like this. But yeah, that looks good. Let me throw them on the other side. Smart move would be to cover this tip, so when I'm putting this one on, I don't accidentally hit it. Sorry if my leg's in the way. I don't have much room back here against the toolbox. All right, guys, so I am all finished installing. They turned out so awesome. I am really, really happy with the finish, the overall look, and I think it just really cleaned things up. Gonna be hard to show at this angle, but they do look so much bigger on the rear end. It just really, really fills it out so much better. Also, another really cool thing on the Ink Customs exhaust, I'll show you real quick, is that they have adjustable hangers. So you're able to move the exhaust up and down on the hanger here. So as you can see, it has a little slot there, and you just loosen the 13 millimeters and you can move the exhaust up and down. And I actually adjusted the entire exhaust up, so it's closer to the diffuser here. It was actually hanging a little bit lower than I wanted it to, but now it's nice and tucked up and it looks so much better. So I spent a ton of time getting the tips exactly where I wanted them. Gonna be really hard to show, but if you look down, you can see each of the inner tips the same and each of the outer tips the same. So it turned out really nice. I spent probably the last, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes or so trying to get everything perfect. So sometimes going with a really simple design, black, slash cut, single wall, nothing's fancy, nothing crazy, just ends up looking so much better. You can see the slant, it kind of goes along with the diffuser and everything, and yeah, that looks really, really good. I can't wait to get this car out and, well, first of all, get it cleaned up and get this car out and drive. But that is the tips. Really happy with that. I gotta send these ones out. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys the clamping on the these ones. So as you can see, these are kind of the basic universal clamps. A lot of exhaust companies use these, and they're okay. They obviously work, but they're a little bit chintzier compared to the Ink Custom ones that I just installed. They're just way nicer quality. Let me see if I can get you a little bit better of an angle. So kind of hard to show, but you can see the much better quality of the Ink Customs ones than the carbon ones I just took off. So these are going to hold up much better, and these were able to tighten down a ton more compared to the other ones. I was always afraid that I was going to break these because that has happened in the past with other exhausts that use these clamps. So that is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You're able to see the car outside for a little bit, obviously the new exhaust tips and everything, and really enjoy doing small stuff like that. It really, really ties it all together. Obviously, I will update you guys on the respray of the hood. It does look really good in here, but it's very, very hard to show the hue difference. You can see it in person in certain lightings and everything. So we're gonna get that knocked out. It's gonna be so much better. And they actually already got the carbon fiber cards, do all the spray outs and stuff. Again, they mentioned they have my stock hood there, so they're going off of that. We're gonna bring the car up there and just get it knocked out. I promise you, it'll be perfect. And then this car will be ready to roll. But that is gonna do it for this one, guys. If you are looking for an amazing, amazing exhaust, I highly recommend hitting up Patrick at Ink Customs. He does some incredible work. He can customize to whatever setup that you want. That is gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple. I'll catch you guys in the next one.